What about making your sound better? What about making your sound better?
What's up, guys? I don't know if you can hear me very well. I just did an introduction, even though my mic was muted. Some weird stuff is happening with my computer right now. So give me a second. No, there'll be video. There's just not gonna be a webcam. I'm trying to fix some stuff. Our website's not loading for me, so I have to. Okay, all right. Music. Chill. Shh. Okay. Welcome back, everybody. It's been what seems like freaking ages. Let me turn on the actual video. Hey, there we go. No webcam today, guys. My webcam is not working for some stupid reason. I don't know why, but it's not working. And hopefully you guys can hear me okay, hear my voice okay. There's going to be some like AC going on in the background, some heat going on because it's cold where I live, so you're going to be hearing that. My apologies. But what you're seeing on the screen right now is our homepage to our SoundCloud, and we just released Calm Bear, which is a parallel compression plugin, for free, 100% free. And then below that, you'll see that 2 days ago we released our free Christmas pack, FL Studio and Ableton plugins plus 60 Serum presets for free as well. And I'm actually creating a song right now where I'm using some of the presets, and it sounds dope. So I'll recommend going to get it. Yes, JP, this is me. I don't have a webcam today. I probably should put that in like the title or description or something that it is me. Roman is out of town visiting family. I have family stuff to do as soon as the stream ends. So I started actually a little bit early so I could actually start at 1 o'clock because I have to probably end the stream about 5 minutes early to prepare to leave. And if I'm sniffling and if my voice sounds like it's weird, I am probably a little sick. So, like always, I'm never not sick. But let's go ahead and pull up. Let's go ahead and pull up some. That's the wrong one. Let's go ahead and pull up some tracks. Since it is me doing everything today, usually what happens in every stream is Roman is behind the scenes. He's not always like watching the stream, but he has this streaming service we use pulled up where he's able to, you know, put me to Facebook and YouTube. Well, my computer can't handle going to Facebook and YouTube whenever I'm the one doing the behind the scenes stuff, and since he's out of town, I am stuck with doing all of it. So sorry to ask, here's your artist name. Yes, it is. That SoundCloud, if you see it right here, is very, very unused. I've had it for, God, 6 years, but Cure hasn't always been my name. I kind of just made up a name. I wanted to be Cure, but I didn't want to spell it the traditional way, so I put Khur. But yeah, that's my name. There's only music on it from before I started working with WA. I think that's basically it. Old stuff. So following you. Thanks, man. What's up, Alex? How you doing, bud? How many tracks I'm gonna look at? Honestly, as much as I can get to in an hour. Let's see who else said what's up. Arca, what's up? Casper, how you doing? Some new faces. Decode / AKA DJ Fiesta, which is what I'm gonna call you because that's what your name is in my head, in my heart. So that's what you are. Sorry if there's a lot of lag in this stream, guys. By the way, because my computer's like, bro, this is difficult. But all right, let's listen to some DJ Fiesta, which I guess I have to follow him again because he's not DJ Fiesta anymore. I don't know. Did you make a new SoundCloud, or is this just changed your name? And is this actually on Spinnin' Records? Because if so, it's super dope. If not, then cool. Yeah, woman. Oh, I guess Lad is right. So anyone who's new, in our description of this stream, we have a link to our Discord channel, which is where you can send in your tracks on the feedback live stream section. If you have any questions when you get to Discord, just at a mod, and the mods are usually on the right-hand side, and ask them a question, and they'll be able to answer you. I do tracks in order, so basically whoever comes here first and decides to put their stuff in, then I go in order just because it keeps me from skipping people and it keeps me from getting yelled at. So if you're here and you didn't know that and you're late and you didn't put your track in and I don't get to it, I firstly want to apologize for that, but that's usually how I do things. So now you know next time, which should be next week, to come back and get here on time. But yeah, all right. Alright, DJ Fiesta / Decode. Honestly, it feels weird to come back and actually get feedback. I haven't done this in 2 weeks. So, knowing exactly where to start and you know, it's difficult, but I mean, every time DJ Fiesta puts a song in, usually it's always really good. So, I mean, I really have nothing. I'm assuming this isn't finished, so you're gonna have some things you're gonna have to go back and fix, like some, you know, some overall mastering, and give this song also in Spotify link. What? Am I doing Spotify things? Like you couldn't give me a Spotify link? Usually we only do SoundCloud just because it's easier, or SoundCloud and YouTube just because I can control things. But I mean, if I get to you then and you have a Spotify link, sure. But Decode / DJ Fiesta. What was I gonna say? Oh, there's some. Hey, stop that. There's some. Maybe some punchiness you can add to those drums to bring them through a little bit more, just so there's a little bit more of a chest kick with those kicks going in. And maybe some more side. I mean, I definitely hear the sidechain, and I definitely hear the elements are fading out when that kick hits, but maybe a little bit more intense, and maybe intensify that kick a little bit more. So there's a little bit more of a punch at the chest there with that kick, so that we can hear the prominence of the kick. Now I know that the big room usually doesn't have a really prominent kick, but that's usually how I mix everything. Like whenever I mix something, for some reason I always make sure my drums are like smacking people in the face because I feel like they're the most important part. But like, I mean, that's just based on preference. So based on my preference, I would bump these drums up, bump these this kick up a little bit more, so it hits a little harder that way. you know, we're feeling it a little bit more. Overall, though, the mix down and the mastering so far is pretty good, even though, you know, you can tell it's a little bit rough, and you can tell there's not much compression or low end on it a little bit, just to... What just happened? Okay. Just so we can feel the rhythm a little bit more, and which we can feel because we can hear the kick, but so we can feel a little bit more in our headphones or in our cars or our speakers or our monitors, whatever. Make sure to bump that kick up a little bit more. Maybe either change the kick out for a more intense one, or, you know, just fix yours a little bit more. But other than that, man, so far the track sounds great. If it's not done yet, make sure to bring it back so that we can take a look at a finished product. I saw in the Discord chat that Casper, or Disappeared, has his best track he's ever made today, so we'll see. Let's move on to Arca. Honestly, yeah, the acoustic drums sound great. I mean, I don't think there's... Well, hold on. I'm really digging that snare. I just feel like your side shading should be a little bit more intense, just so we can hear the transients in both of those drums a little bit better. And maybe intensify your chords a little bit more. Maybe mix them louder a little bit. I don't know how many layers you have with these chords, but maybe if you only have like one layer of chords, which a lot of people do, which is perfectly fine. If you can make a preset that is able to give you, you know, sustained chords that are really, really good, you know, that don't need to be stacked, more power to you. I usually always stack at least one more layer on just for either higher octave or more, you know, a fuller element. But with yours, I think that they're good how they are. Maybe just mix them in a little louder, just so they're, because this is melodic dubstep. So I understand that the lead is supposed to be a little bit more overpowering, but it's kind of supposed to be like you can hear it, but you can't hear it over everything. So maybe make sure chords up a little bit louder so they're like right below it. So it's a cool little transition between the chord and lead, where it's just sounds like it's kind of like one full element with a higher octave, if that makes any sense. So just kind of mix those chords up a little bit more, increase your side chaining. And yeah, the drums sound great. I love that snare a lot though. That's one of my biggest things, is the snare in the song so far. And the idea is really great. Maybe right here though. Maybe like right here, work on a transition. Well, hold on. Yeah, I mean, your fill's really good too, and your acoustic here as well. I feel like maybe add some reverb if there's not any on that snare, just to give it a little more of an impact. Other than that, yeah, man, great track. Keep working on the melodic dubstep. I think I've heard a melodic dubstep from you before. I just can't quite remember when it was, or how long ago it was, or. But other than that, thank you for sharing the track, man. I can't say go over to Facebook and share the live stream for a chance to win a pack because there's no pack giveaway today. I think I forgot to mention that. It's in the description if you guys read it. But there's no giveaway pack today just because there is no Roman, so there's no one to send the packs out. He has access of all the packs, and I don't want to have you guys waiting like a while. So next week we'll be back to traditional feedback live streams. So okay, let's go. Disappeared. Best song he's ever made. Let's go. Yeah, I mean, you're not lying. Honestly. Sub bass is too loud, I think. Honestly, I can't, for some reason, when I have this audio rig turned on, I can't hear subs to save anyone's life. It does not work. It does not come through my headset. I don't know why. So, I was about to say turn your subs up, but if they're too, I can't hear them. I'll turn it down a little bit. Shouldn't be talking. Alright, other than that, man, there is some distortion on that kick. I don't know if it was purposely put there, or if it's just because of the mastering or mixing put onto the, or the post-processing put onto the kick. But go sure and either make sure to clip out that tail, just so there's not too much of that sub-bass distortion that hits when that sub hits. Because what happens, what I've noticed, I've been producing a lot of stuff lately just to get back into it because I haven't been doing it a lot. Just because, I don't know if you guys know, I don't touch any of the presets that you guys hear, or that you guys get, or any of the demo songs you guys get as well. I don't touch them. I don't make them. What I do a lot of the times is write the description for them, the pack at least, and the landing pages for all the stuff that we put out, and a lot of the behind the scenes, getting people to work for us and getting producers, stuff like that. So the people who make the stuff I usually find, but I don't ever touch them. So I've been getting back to producing. What I've noticed a lot is that some of the tails after the transient, the kicks that have the sub bass, because basically a kick's order is noise, transient, and then sub, just to get it the full wave of a kick. Sometimes if you have the sub plays when the tail of the kick hits and the side chain's either not intense enough or they just play at the same time, there's some distortion because the subs clash together. So either make sure to side chain more for the full sample of the kick, just so, especially on the sub, not necessarily the other elements, but the sub especially, just so it cancels out and there's no distortion, or clip the tail off a little bit more. I'm going to improve it tonight and release it next week. I'll let you guys know. Cool. Cool. Well, bring it back here and we'll see what you did, and see what you added, see what you fixed. Since it's not finished, I won't harsh you too much on it because you're going to go back and mess with it. But other than that, man, I agree. One of your best tracks that I've heard from you so far. Is it called No Time? Yes. Alright, Audio Tracker's turn. Let's see what he brought.
Sometimes I see deception, sometimes I
Audio Trackers. Every time he brings up a track here, he gets better. It seems. Every time he comes back, just his mastering and mixing overall gets better every time. So I don't know if it's because of what I'm saying or he's looking up some stuff. But oh, Zen World and Dylan Tall Chief's live streams always teach me so much, man. I've not learned this much from my 14 years at school. Yeah, honestly, a lot of people learn producing or anything from either live streams or just watching professionals do it. Rest in peace, my shitty earphones. Left side just stopped working. That sucks. That's the worst. Especially whenever you're either in the middle of doing something and it just cuts out. But anyway, so Audio Trackers. I'm going to do a little bit more here, if anything, since this is it's only 3 minutes and 17 seconds, but it feels a lot longer than that because I feel like this keeps repeating. I would just either cut this in half or just use like the second half where the build-up is, or do a little bit more elements, add a little bit more, you know, some fades, some transitions. Overall, though, the drums are mixed really well. The mastering overall is pretty decent. I can't hear the low end very well in this audio rig, so I really can't tell you if you need to fix your low end. But side chaining, maybe a little bit more side chaining on all your elements overall. I mean, every element except for vocals, usually most of the time, should be side chained, even a little bit, just so the kick and clap or snare, whatever you have, is always going to poke through. I really dig the second drop because you added that layer, that saw over top. So I really dig this second half. I really like what you did with that. Yeah, I was gonna say, lad, also work on transitions because right here. Like, there should have been like some sort of frequency filter transition that kind of faded out and brought it back in, or some sort of drum fill or something. But yeah, just work on your transitions a little bit and work on some side chaining on this. But overall, I love the idea, and I love the second half a lot because of that saw you added. The change up was really nice as well. But good job, man. Thank you for spitting the track. Merry Christmas, man, and happy holidays to whatever you celebrate and whoever it is. Shut start. What's up, man? Let's bring your clip it in here. Hopefully it doesn't destroy my head. Oh, it's full blast. Oh. 10? What? Overall, the mix is pretty good. That kick could be a little bit more intense on this side, though. But actually, after the transition, honestly, what I always tell people, whether it be friends of mine that produce or just people in general, is that I feel like, at least this is what I do and what I've seen a lot of producers do. I don't know why this is. I think it's just because this is the most important part of a track. Like, the climaxes of a track are always the most important part. So I think that this part right here, where you started to have the drums kick in, you should have built that first and then built all of this around this. So whether it be a dubstep track or a melodic dubstep or a bass house or whatever, always build your climax first, because that's what you're leading up to, and that's what people are basically there for. Which, it sucks to say that people are really only there for your climax, but that's kind of just how, that's just the reality of EDM. It's just kind of how it is. So I think that after this transition and this build, you should have built, maybe before this all happened, write the idea down and get the idea out of your head so you don't forget it, but really focus hard on this. And what you probably could do is, since you have like there's really like filtered out chords that are kind of poking through, maybe you can beef them up with some saws and beef that kick up and make it a little bit more of an intense, you know, happy beginning. My cat is scratching on my door, guys. Sorry if you hear it. Make this a little bit more of a lightly toned, softer beginning, and then kind of add some beef to it in the build-up, and then once that transition hits and this drop or chorus or climax hits, maybe beef does that kick up a little bit more. My cat is scratching on the door and I can't speak over it. It's difficult. But beef this up a little bit more. Create these add like a saw, a super saw for chords, which is kind of like the default chord anyway. Like this little pluck you have going. Maybe add some chords to fit that, and then add a lead over that, and some hi-hats and some effects. And what you have right now is honestly not that bad, but it's just a little low. So that's what I think. That's what I think you should do. Also, Merry Christmas, Nick. I forgot to tell you. Yeah, Merry Christmas, JP. Arca, your logo is nice. That's good. That's a good point. It is. Never really am a Nexus fan. I haven't ever used Nexus. I feel like it's way too overused by just like every genre. So I feel like not by every genre, like every producer, like every time you see those videos on YouTube, oh, how they made Gucci Gang, some producers using Nexus, like you just can't get away from it. But yeah, that's what I would do, is those chords, those plucky chord stuff you have happening in here, maybe beef up a little bit more with some saws, and then add some lead over it. Whether it be a pluck or some sort of lead, and then beef up that kick and those drums overall, some side chaining to give this a little bit more of an intense feel with a softer beginning, because those are always fun to listen to. But other than that, work on it a little bit more, bring it back, and we'll see what you do with it. Blazikins. That's not what I meant to do. Alright. How's everyone's day going? How is everyone's day going? Let me know while I'm listening to this how your day is.
Boom shack, boom shack, boom shack.
Alright, I feel like there should be a little bit more side chaining in this, because I feel like there's that kick back there should be a little bit more smack me in the face, you know what I'm saying? Or maybe work on that transition a little bit more, maybe add some more interesting stuff into it. I mean, it isn't terrible at all. I feel like that first drop ends a little too abrupt. Maybe add some tails to reverb into it, fade it out, and then fade back in the transition again. I don't know. Whatever you feel like doing. Nick is gonna murder me for having 0 sidechaining on my track. No, well, yeah, probably. But, you know, some people don't know how to do it, or some people just don't think about it, which is fine. It's like one of the first things I think about, just because I feel like it gives a track a lot of rhythm, and it really helps those drums poke through. That's kind of just my thoughts on it. I think also Nick, my day has been great. For Christmas, I am asking for a True Mini Brute. Nice. Yeah, we'll work on it. Yeah, no problem. I mean, as long as it's, you know, as long as you're trying. I mean, I don't know if we have tutorials on our YouTube channel about what? I don't know if we have any tutorials on our YouTube channel. Yeah, I think I said that right. Side chaining, but there are plenty on YouTube on how to do it. And any DAW you're using, most of the time it's FL Studio, and most of the time people use FL Studio. At least a lot of our community does, which is fine. I mean, as a producer, I use Ableton because I just always have. And And on Ableton, it's super easy. You just add a sample that you want to be your trigger. So a little tiny little percussion sample hits whenever your kick and snare hit, and you can change them based on how much sidechaining you want to happen on your kick and your snare. If you want it to be equal, whatever. I usually have it equal, but whatever. Then you add a compressor, and then you just adjust the knobs and click sidechain, and it literally sidechains it for you. I know you can use a peak controller or something like that, or the limiter inside of FL Studio, but I'm not too keen on how it's... Is the mix clean? Yeah, overall, yes it is. Yeah, overall the mix is great. It's just that sidechaining and then some transition work. Other than that, sounds good. How long is this stream today? 1 hour, yes. So 29 more minutes. 29. Near future music. Near future. Haven't seen your name before. Let's see what you get. Halloween. Okay. It's Christmas time now.
No one can save you.
Alright, near future. First of all, welcome. Second of all, there's some elements I think that should be louder overall in the mix. Like that right there should be a little bit more beefy. I don't know if it's the effects you have on it that are making it quiet. I feel like it should be a little bit more stabby in your face because this is hybrid trap, so there's got to be a little bit more of an element. It sounds like more... Yeah, I guess it is hybrid trap. Never mind. That snail's bass sounds pretty nice. Something happened last night. All right, so what was I saying? Oh, that element right there. I don't know if it's an effect, like an actual effect sample, or if it's a preset you have, or if it's a whatever it is. Should be a little bit more punchy and a little bit more there, because I feel like that'd be super cool if, you know, there was. I feel like with hybrid trap, the only thing that should be quiet is any like effects elements or ARPs in the background or whatever it may be, hi-hats in the background should be a little more quiet. Everything else should be almost at the same mix volume, not the exact same, nothing should ever be the same volume, but somewhat the same, just because I feel like there's like a certain sound to it that just sounds good. But I think, other than that, I think the elements... Your mixing or your mastering could use a little bit more work. I can't exactly give you what I would do to it, because I don't know what you did, but just a little bit more work on that with normalizing it and making sure all the frequencies are where they're supposed to be and cutting out some of the highs and some presets. Not that they're like ear-piercingly loud, but just so it's not too prominent. So you don't get those muddy frequencies that we don't want. Well, other than that, man, yeah, for Hybrid Trap and you not doing this style very much from what your description said, good job, and thanks for bringing a Halloween track on Christmas. That's a first. That's probably the only time I'm gonna see that. Well, probably not, but anyway, thanks, man. Thanks for coming to the stream. Next week I'll be able to say, hey, go to Facebook, share the stream for a chance to win so and so, but I don't have that time or have that this week. Yes, that's what I meant to say. This reminds me of 2002 dubstep. You know what I mean? Like Clockwork, that kind of stuff. At least with that bass it does. I really, honestly, the only problem I have with this right now, I don't even know how to say your name, so I'm not gonna try. But the only problem I have with it so far is that bass. That's really it. I think it's too prominent, and just doesn't seem like it fits. The background elements though are really nice. Maybe change some LFO up, maybe put some compression on it, some other effects on it, just so there's more, to it. But the overall mood and vibe of this is great. Some side chaining would definitely help, as well as beefing up those samples and turning down those hi-hats a little bit, just so they're not too prominent. But yeah, like your background elements like that right there sounds great. It's just that bass is a little too overwhelming, and I think there should be a little bit more LFO changing. But it sounds like Clockwork, which is cool, because he's an old dubstep producer who doesn't make music anymore. But that's kind of how his track sounded. But other than that, man, I love the idea. Thanks for submitting the track. Head over to Facebook and do nothing, because I'm not streaming there. I literally just about said it. There's nothing to give away. Okay, who is this? JP, what's up? That was loud. It actually scared me a little bit. Honestly, JP, the arrangement reminds me of Figure a little bit. I think it reminds me of just like that loud high octave repetitive bass that goes the same LFO. It sounds like Figure a little bit. I don't hate it at all, honestly. I think that if you could guess the feedback I'm going to give you on what you should do, what would you say? I'm not going to sit here and wait because it's delayed, but it's going to be sidechain. Good answer. I think. I mean, I can hear your drums. Like, it's not that that I can't hear them, but it's just a little bit more intense of a sidechain. Will make this we'll give this some crazy rhythm. I would show you one of my songs that I'm working on that's actually on here, but it's private, just because I was trying to hear, doing the whole monitor testing. Like, I took it to a friend of mine, and then I took it to my car and listened to it just to see how the mastering is going overall. It sounds like Booty. It's actually a remix of Panda Eyes. So I would show you what I mean by sidechaining, if you can actually hear it. Maybe I'll do that later on. But yeah, just yeah, just some sidechaining, honestly, and then maybe some change up in like the pitch, or some, like, if you have any other effects you have inside this preset, maybe change them up a little bit, and like add some automation to them, make it sound a little bit more unique, and then change some LFOs up. I think that would sound really dope too. But other than that, I don't know how often you make Bro Step, but Merry Christmas, JP. December 14th, 7 days ago. Okay, all right. Yeah, just some sidechaining really, and then maybe some mastering work would do you some good. Yeah, show it, Nick. Okay, I will. All right, so it's forewarning. I haven't made music like actually tried, and what seems like forever. So I'm gonna skip to about this region over here, and the build-up is awful, but hopefully it's loud enough for you guys. But what I would do by sidechaining, see if you can tell what I'm talking about. Do you hear how when that kick hits and the snare hits, there's like basically an entire mute right when it, so I have my chords. I have like 3 layers of chords. I have a lead and I have a pluck that go on at the same time, plus effects and hi-hats. Everything except for my hi-hats, I think, is being sidechained. And every time I kick on my snare hit, it's equal. So I think it's like 50 some dB. And this is what I mean whenever I give you guys the feedback that says, hey, put a lead over your chords, but mix your chords loud enough to where your lead and your chord are somewhat the same volume, but you can hear it, is what I mean. Yeah, that is just for me to be able to tell what I have to fix. But yeah, that's the remix I'm working on. That's what I mean by sidechaining. Sometimes heavy, intense sidechainings that are very short sidechaining is what I'm talking about. Just because those drums will come, the transients will come through, and then when it comes to when it knees back in or it fades back in, you'll be able to. It's hard to explain, but I can just try to show you. I don't know what else to do. But yeah, that's the thing I'm working on right now. Actually, it's been how long? A couple of weeks. But yeah, Tokyo Project. Let's go. But that's what I mean. JP, if you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, I will. I might honestly open up my project for you guys eventually and show you what I mean by sidechaining, just so you can see what I'm talking about. I actually might do that towards the end of the stream. honestly, Tokyo, I think I like that a lot. I really have nothing to say about it. I mean, the mix overall is great. And the bongos are awesome. I can never find good bongo. I think we have some on our website, or just presets overall, or not presets, what? Samples overall. I think we have some bongos. And I like how they're mixed, so they're not too overwhelming, but they're there. Good job, Tokyo. I really had nothing else to say. Everyone else in the chat's digging it too, man, so good job. Great work. Devil. Never seen your name. Actually, yeah, I thought, no. Have I? Have I? Heaven or hell? What is this?
Waking up to ash and dust, I wipe my brow and I sweat my rust, while breathing in the chemicals. I'm radioactive, radioactive. I'm radioactive,
One of the biggest things I'm gonna say again is side chaining. I feel like this would be a whole lot more intense and a whole lot more rhythm driven if you had like a not like a crazy intense side chaining, but something where those elements meted, and then maybe some compression on that lead, some more multi-band compression, just so it has a little all those frequencies being poked out, and maybe some snare work, because that snare kind of sounds a little bit unorthodox. And the drums and the vocals don't really match the key of the track. I feel like the other elements and the vocals mixed in and the instrumental from the actual track mixed in is out of key, and then you go to the drop and it's something it's like a whole, like 2 or 3 keys higher than it's supposed to be. Only suggestion I would give is maybe add a lead in the lead that stands out more. Lead in the drop. Oh yeah, yeah. Well, that's what I meant by like multi-band compression. Whenever I produce anything, I multi-band compress the crap out of it, because I feel like it gives it a different sound. Like it beefs things up, and it gives stuff a little bit more of a punch. So when I mean like multi-band compress that lead, I think that'll bring some stuff to life overall. But other than that, Devil, thanks for submitting the track. But yeah, thanks for submitting the track, man. Head over to God, stop. I want to say head over to what is this? Techlix, what's happening here? I just now noticed that. I almost said head over to Facebook, share the stream for a chance to win something, but nothing. So don't go to Facebook. All right, this might do 2 more, and then I'll open up my project that I was talking about just a minute ago, and show you what I'm talking about by how intense my side chaining is. Nighthawks. I feel like every time Nighthawks uploads a track and I come to it, they're not here. But one, I suggest cutting out this part, just cause I mean, I don't know. But the vocals are really good. I like the vocals added to this, and the fact of how they fit into the melody, which is not very easy to do to find. It's usually always female vocalists for me to find one that always fits. Every single female vocalist I've ever tried to get into my song, it's always out of key somehow. I just can never mix it in the right key. So I think it's awesome if someone can actually get the key of a female vocalist to fit in their track really nicely. So I think he did that really well. The mixing overall, a lot of elements are too loud, and some of them should be, mixed down a little bit more than the other, just so we can hear the separation of the elements, because they're all just kind of one big jumble in here. I can tell the difference, but I would like to be able to tell the difference without having to actually physically focus on the difference. And then some side chaining on these drums will be a little bit more intense side chaining. I know there's some there because I can hear it, but I know a little bit more intense side chaining on those drums and all the elements minus her vocals, just because you don't side chain vocals very much, would add a whole new feel to the track that I think will be really dope. But reverb is extra. Yeah, there is a lot of reverb in this too in there, but I think that's what's kind of dimming down these elements. Is maybe turn down that reverb a little bit, just a little bit. But other than that, man, guys, I think it's a duo. Yeah, thanks for submitting the track. Anix, Inkix. I don't know how to say your name, but I'm sorry. English is my native language, but I'm bad at it. Well, it sounds super familiar. Oh, so this is a ringtone? Is that what that ring is? Faded ring. So basically, Alan Walker with a ring in it. That was good though. Alan Walker did a good job, man. Really, the only thing I have to add to this so far, and it says not all of this is finished, is I'm assuming your mastering is not what's finished, because I feel like there's a lot of punch that could be added to that drop, a lot of feel, and I feel like your mixing needs to be a little bit more, a little bit more separated, because some of these elements could really poke through than mastering them, to beef up those lows and to separate the highs and the mids. Would be a really good thing for this track, because and to make sure to normalize it so that everything is popping at 0 dB, and so everything is at normal volume for the average person. But other than that, the idea behind it is great, and I don't have any problems with that. Maybe it makes down that lead a little bit more, so it kind of meshes in with those brass hits. It's not too overwhelming. Can I listen to 6 more, because the last one is mine? I want to have time, man. I wanted to show y'all this side chaining thing, and then I get a going. So I got places to be for said holiday. All right, come on. I'm closing this now. Let's go. What's happening? Hello. Thank you. And yes, I run the intro version of Ableton because I am broke. That's why. Oh, it's over here. That's not where I wanted. Hello. I wanted you. Well, yeah. So let me, first off, open the project. Hopefully my computer doesn't go, hey, it's too much, bye, and kill me. This isn't a very intense project, and I have all the presets, for the most part, frozen. So it shouldn't be that intense. Well, let me get a... Okay. So let me actually change the volume settings in here, or the settings, multiple output device. Yeah? And then change this, because it's going to be super loud. Alright, so I'm going to solo. So I'm going to solo. Let me actually group, because it bothers me to not have grouped. But let me actually solo my Earthang, which is just... So I'm actually just going to play everything that's in my sense area. And what's triggering this is this sample right here. Every time I kick and snare hit, this sample is hitting. This is linked to that sample, which it says sidechain is linked to this sidechain channel. And anything inside this sidechain channel that hits is going to cause the frequencies, everything that's attached to it that has this on it. So basically this group has it on it, and this group has it on it, and this group has it on it. So everything is sidechained, because for that reason, it makes the drums able to poke through a little bit more. And then the lead over top, to mix it in, I have it at, honestly it's at 0, and my chords are at 0, but inside inside the actual preset itself, it is not at the same volume as these two. But yeah, you guys understand. So, on that note, I will close that. And I will see you guys next Sunday. Thanks to whoever brought the tracks in this week. Sorry to whoever I didn't get to. I can't get to everybody. It's physically impossible. Do you use the volume shaper for sidechain? No, we don't have volume. Well, I guess we kind of do in Ableton, but we don't have a volume shaper. I use just a compressor overall. It's just honestly just a generic compressor that I just channel to the sidechain channel, and then every time a sample hits in the sidechain channel that I have, it triggers the sidechain, and you can adjust how intense that is with a knob. That's basically all it is. It's very, very simple to do in Ableton. I don't know if it's difficult to do in FL Studio, but I know there's like a limiter you can use to do it, or a volume shaper or a peak controller or stuff like that you can do to do some sidechaining. But other than that, I really don't know that much about it. Robin will be able to help you with that a whole lot more than I would. But speaking of which, I will see you guys next Sunday. Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to anyone and everyone that came today. Thank you guys for coming. I hope you guys have a great holiday. So nothing will be happening with WA for the next couple of days, because we're going to be spending time with family. That's why Roman's not here today. He's actually with family. And then we got some stuff coming out, hopefully. And then guess what? I get to be doing some sound design for Angry Parrot and stuff like that we have, our sub-labels and stuff like that. So I get to be doing some of the work for that now, which is super dope, because it's what I've been wanting to do. So expect to hear some sound design and some, tracks like you just heard, some packs inspired off of that kind of sound, and some heavy, gross dubstep and bass house and future bass stuff that's coming out, hopefully from me and some other producers that I can find in the near future. But I will see you guys next week, next Sunday, same time. I hope you guys have a good holiday, and I will see you guys soon. Have a good one, guys.